Oh, hello there. We're gonna read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Rescued from the Sea, Chapter 1. The floating sheets of Arctic ice were slowly freezing together, threatening to crush the small sailing ship. Robert Walton, its young English captain, stood on deck, wondering if he were wrong risking the lives of his brave crew for his own ambitions, to explore oceans ships have never sailed on before, and land men have never walked on before. He dreamed of the benefits this discovery would have for all mankind if he would discover a sea route near the North Pole from Europe to Asia. This reminds me of something. Now what? Where did I hear this from before? Oh yes, that's right, this Christopher Columbus fellow. He wanted to find a route between Europe and Asia, but it wasn't the North Pole. It was more a little bit southern, in the central part, near the equator. And the place he found he thought was India, but it wasn't. His geography was way off. Okay, here's Europe and here's Asia. And right here is India. That doesn't make sense. How would he would have to reach Asia before getting to India. So he should have known that, hey, this place is in India, but hey, who cares? He's dead now. Anyway, let's go on to this book. Walton had been born into wealth and could have chosen to spend his life in ease and luxury. Instead, he spent the last 6 years at sea, working as a common sailor, enduring cold, hunger, thirst, sleeplessness, and often brutal discipline, just to prepare his body and mind for this long and dangerous voyage. Isn't that more of abusing yourself than actually training your body for this? When Christian Bale did the Dark Knight trilogy, he trained his body and mind through skills and techniques. This guy's just trying to kill himself. Okay, but let's go on this death of a journey. But now, with the ice threatening his ship and the lives of his crew, it was doubtful whether or not any of them would see their homes and families again. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the thick and heavy fog had surrounded the ship. All morning it began to lift. As it did, a strange sight appeared on the ice. "Look, Captain!" called the crewman, pointing to a dark spot a half a mile away. "It's a sled, sir, and those dogs are pulling it, as if their feet had wings." Wait a minute, what? Who says that? Their feet have wings? Have you ever seen a dog have fly or anything? I get it that they're gonna run fast, but why would they even do that? You know what? Let's keep on going. Walton lifted his telescope to his eye, and "Look at that driver," he cried. "He has to be a gigantic man I've ever laid eyes on before. What on earth is he doing here out in the middle of the frozen sea, hundreds of miles away from any land?" Well, it wouldn't really be 100 miles. It would be around 100, but close to 1,000, and up between the 700 miles to 1,000 miles. There you go right there. And you know what? This is actually the first sense of clarity I got from this book. So far it's good. Let's see how the rest is like this. Okay. Within minutes, though, the mysterious traveler had disappeared on the ice, leaving Walton and his crew stunned and speechless. The next morning at dawn, Walton came up on the deck and found his sailors leaning over the rail, apparently talking to someone on the ice below. "What's happening, lads?" Who says what's happening, lads? Someone might have died. Someone might have got seriously injured. Sorry for that, I was stuttering. And you're not going to say what's happening, lads. You're going to seem like a dick. And everything. You could have just said, "Anything wrong, lads?" Or, "Is something there, lads?" Or something like that. Not, "What's happening, lads?" "Oh, look at him. He's dead." Still, what's happening? And everything. So, you know what? We'll just keep on reading. "It's a sled, sir," a sailor said. "Much like the one we saw yesterday." Well, this is the frozen sea. So there would be a lot like a penguin in Antarctica. You're not just gonna see one and just and see another one the next day and like, oh look it's a penguin just like the one we saw before. It's because they're everywhere. Okay, let's go. There, frozen into a block of ice, drifting towards the ship, was a sledge, a dog team, and a driver. All the dogs were dead except for one. What? Okay, you know what? I think they're just sitting down, because if they were running, that dog must be a really powerful dog. You don't even need the rest of them. You're just adding more stress to the dog. But anyway, back to this. Reins were being held in limply in a frost-covered man as he paddled the block of ice with a piece of wood. He appeared to be barely alive. This isn't the same sledge we saw yesterday, Walton told his men. This man is nothing at all like the gigantic creature that sped past us. Here is our captain, called one of the sailors to the men below. Perhaps he could persuade you to come aboard. Good Lord, man! You're near death, called Walton. Okay. Let my men bring you up. Thank you, sir, answered the man, in a weak voice. But first, I need to know where your ship is headed. Walton was amazed that anyone is so near death should ask such a question. Well, he would ask that question, 'cause who knows, he doesn't know you. Like if someone was just dragging me where are you headed? Oh yeah, we're gonna be headed to the grave so we can kill you and rob you. Then you know what, I'm not gonna do that. That's actually a really good question to ask someone who you don't know, who's just gonna pick you up out of nowhere. Okay. Walton was amazed. Okay. But he decided that to humor the man by explaining, we're exploring the seas near the North Pole. The man added and whispered, North is good. They have very good chicken. At the end, he let the sailors come down to carry him up. Oh, such gentlemen. Once the man was on deck, the ship's doctor reported, his legs are nearly frozen, sir. And his body is so thin, and his bones are coming through his clothing. Ugh. Wrap him in blankets. Lay him gently on the stove. We're gonna cook him tonight, boys. We're gonna have a good stir-fry. Anyway, that is all for now. Tomorrow, we will be reading the Bible.